Now we will move directly into the question session, and we would ask CeCe if you'd make your way up there. Of course, she's number one. And we're going to ask a question, get a 90-second response. There will be 4 questions asked in succession. The first question is, the Bush tax cuts expire at the end of this year. What, if anything, do you think needs to be done about it and the tax structure in general?
Probably the main Bush tax cuts that are going to expire, the marriage penalty tax will come back, the child tax credit will bump up, and the capital gains tax will increase, and taxes in general will increase about 3% across the board. And then if you're filing jointly and you make over $250,000, you're going to lose your personal exemption along with itemized deductions. So I think the thing we need to do right now is to make sure that we call our representatives now and tell them we don't want those Bush tax cuts to expire. And then, of course, the tax system has to be totally revamped. Fair tax and the flat tax, they're both very, very good. I like the fair tax because it taxes on the point of consumption, and you get rid of all the other taxes. There's not payroll tax. There's not the estate tax and the death tax, and that's one more thing that's coming in with the Bush when Bushes expire. But that's a good way to go, and if that doesn't work, the flat tax is great. It has to be resolved. Right now, I think Dr. Art Laffer said that it's about $528 billion that we spend each year just on compliance, tax compliance. So absolutely, we have to fix that.
All right, the second question, of course.
Who's the time? I'm sorry. Who's doing the time? Are you? Okay, no, I'm good. All right, sorry.
Yeah, you've got 90 seconds. If you can say it shorter, there's no penalty there for sure.
Okay, good.
Certainly. Question number 2 is the annual federal fiscal deficit an issue? And of course, if you believe it is, what specifically will you do to address it?
And I think it just flipped to $13 trillion with about $100 trillion worth of unsecured entitlements there. Absolutely, the federal debt is ridiculous, and where we have gone wrong again is because we have unconstitutional spending. And if you read Article 1, Section 8, Clause 1 of the Constitution, you'd probably be surprised to know that Congress has the right to lay and collect taxes for 3 purposes. And that's to pay the debt, provide for the common defense and general welfare of the United States. That's it. That's the only 3 reasons that we can spend that money. And so if you look at any appropriations bill, probably 90% of what we spend money on is completely unconstitutional, and that needs to be fixed, and we have to have a balanced budget.
And that parlays into question number 3, which is we have a $13 trillion national debt. Do you consider this a problem? And if so, what specifically will you do about it?
Okay, well, maybe ditto. It's absolutely a problem, and it's because we have people in Congress that think that they know better how to spend your money than you do, and that's a problem. That's a problem for me, especially that we live in a constitutional republic where the individual remains sovereign, and so you absolutely know better than I do how to spend your money, and it would be my absolute burden to go up there and make sure that as much money as you can keep in your pockets you do, and government taxes as little as they can, and then we spend it on the 3 things that we're supposed to spend it on, period.
Question number 4, moving away from that, although it is a related issue. Are earmarks good or bad in spending bills, and why?
Bad, and they're unconstitutional. Thomas Jefferson wrote a lot on this business, and again, I'll cite the Article 1, Section 8. We have the power to collect and lay taxes. All those 3 purposes are for the United States. So it was never, ever the intention of our founding fathers to tax the American people and then give to states or individuals. That was never the problem. Davy Crockett, there's a great story about Davy Crockett when he was in Congress. There was a fire in Georgetown, and he thought it would be great to appropriate $20,000 to help Georgetown get back on their feet. And at that time, Congress knew that that wasn't their job, but he thought it was, and he had a constituent that he met out in the woods here in Tennessee that said, I'll never vote for you again, because that's not your money to give, and either you don't understand the Constitution or you don't have the fortitude to stand by it. And so Davy Crockett, that changed his life from that point on, and he was absolutely committed to spending money on what he could spend money on and not for anything else. So earmarks are bad.
Very good.